Hey everybody, welcome to Toronto Ball Talk. This is the quarantine edition, of course, as I am here in my house under quarantine. Like many of you, I am keeping my safe social distance, but I thought, you know what, I'd get out there and talk to everybody about some NBA news, because the NBA world does continue to turn, even though there is no live games going on right now. But lots of great tidbits of information to pass on, and some hot gossip to talk about. So let's do it all right here, right now on Toronto Ball Talk Quarantined Edition. All right, everybody, so let's get right into it. A lot has changed in the world since Rudy Gobert was the first player to test positive for the coronavirus. Did so in such a dramatic way that it kind of, it really started this whole chain of events in the NBA. In that he, in the press conference, he went around touching all the mics at the end and being an idiot. And turns out he's the first person to contract the virus, and he gave it to Donovan Mitchell, his teammate. And then that kind of set everything in motion. The NBA postponed the season. I don't really have, that many hard feelings towards Rudy Gobert. I don't really like him, to be honest, as a person. As a player, I think he's great. But what I found interesting was that all of this kind of has led to some speculation that perhaps Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell's relationship is not repairable anymore, in that he definitely was pissed, Donovan Mitchell that is, that Rudy Gobert was being so nonchalant about this, when it all started, and ultimately he's the one who passed it on to Mitchell. And he did come out to say that he, took him a while to get over it, but he's over it. Maybe there's still something lingering there. So there are some grumblings that the Jazz might be looking next year to move either Gobert or Mitchell, but then they came out and denied it. So an interesting little drama going on there. And to be honest, if it was me, I might move Mitchell before I move Gobert, because it's kind of hard to find a player like Gobert, whereas Mitchell he's good for sure. But in that position, you could find somebody else like that. But to find a shot-blocking center as dominant as Rudy Gobert, not as easy. So an interesting thought there. So there hasn't been much basketball going on, obviously, but there has been a lot of Instagram, especially on the Raptors end. So social media has been a big thing for NBA players. I got to say that Serge Ibaka of the Toronto Raptors is the king of social media, especially when it comes to live Instagram feeds. He has just been all over the place. How bored are you? He's got the how talented are you?
What's the name of the song?
Color You Like.
Okay, go ahead. We don't really have time for you, man. We have the man in the building.
Hey, you a hell of a judge, man. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna say no for the one. I'm sorry to say that.
Feel it, Ibaka. Feel it for the world.
It's just the whole series. Now, to be honest, I don't know if he's been practicing social distancing, because who is behind that camera filming him unless he lives in the house with him 24/7, 365? That is in violation of the social distancing protocol. But hey, you know what, Serge? You're doing great things in terms of getting people up, active, and interactive in terms of and engaged, I should say, in your content, which is great. He's donated his scarves to the mayor and the team give for auction, which will ultimately go towards getting money for some needy people. So good on Serge. Honestly, he's been great, fun to watch. There have been other Raptors. Pascal's still trying to figure out how to really have a live Instagram video, but he's provided some pretty good content that I've seen so far. I saw him call DeMar and get on the phone there with Nick Nurse and Norm Powell, Fred VanVleet. So good content from Pascal, but he's a little bit more amateurish in terms of his presentation in front of the camera, or more. He's just more real, I suppose. Serge has definitely got more of that entertainment quality to him. So for basketball people, Raptors fans especially, you have been getting a bit of that in terms of entertainment, which has been nice. So I liked it, and I'm looking forward to more stuff. But to be honest, it's basketball that I crave. Which brings me to the closest thing to basketball that we got was a recent ESPN broadcast of a horse competition. Horses basically make a shot, and your opponent has to make the exact same shot. They did it everybody at their own location. Mike Conley, Zach LaVine, Paul Pierce, some WNBA players. To be honest, it was something. I watched it, but the internet connection speed for some of the players, Trae Young, like, it was just terrible. And then some players had pretty good feeds. Chris Paul and Mike Conley was definitely the best indoors. It was kind of fun to watch, something interesting to think about. Maybe you incorporate that into the All-Star competition Saturday night. Do it with a hell of a lot better cameras. Obviously you wouldn't stream it. You would just kind of have that two people in the same gym, maybe same cameras, better angles. Not a bad thing. Of course, it's kind of cool. Something that we've all probably played, and impossible to imagine that you yourself could be doing something like that, which is, cool for engaging fans and getting them more interested in the NBA. All right, just a couple of more things to talk about. The big one that I kind of have not mentioned yet is that the entire Raptors NBA championship playoff run was televised during that first month of city lockdown, the quarantine. I made sure to PVR all that. It was really interesting to watch the games from the perspective who knows the outcome. So I watched it with like a lot less sort of emotion. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to win this game. Like every basket, every miss was like I wasn't there, right? So I'm watching it, and I really enjoyed kind of seeing it all play out, and really got a greater appreciation for all the role players, for Serge, Freds, for Pascal, how huge Pascal was. I mean, I already knew he was huge. But just to watch it again, Lowry, big shot Lowry, game 6 in the final, just reminded me again, like, this guy is definitely the greatest Raptor of all time. Just an amazing experience in that I watched each play kind of like with that different eye, no expectations. It didn't matter. I could like just let my eye, I could get off the ball, watch Kawhi run around a screen, not get passed to Pascal, how many times he was open and wouldn't get passed to, or whatever. That's just an example. Watching it from the perspective of like really not caring if they score. It didn't matter, right? The ultimate goal was achieved in that we won the NBA championship. Really great to relive that. And then the finals, which I think was like one of the most watched broadcasts during this whole quarantine time. The last game of the NBA finals was amazing to watch again. It brought back all the emotions, and just watching them just hoist the trophy, and just great. And I love Kawhi. I'm so grateful for Kawhi, and it reminded me again that I can never hate on him, because without him, I don't know if we get there. And that's not a knock on the role players, because without them, we definitely don't get there. Just an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that they did that and they let us relive that moment. And the Raptors right now are still the NBA champions, which sounds pretty nice. I also watched the WNBA draft, seeing the first pick, Sabrina Ionescu, and hearing her stories about Kobe and the mentorship of Kobe and Kobe's impact on the WNBA, and how maybe one day he was hoping to get in there in the role of commissioner. Kind of got me more interested in the WNBA. So, and who knows? I mean, the WNBA is definitely evolving. I have watched games, but it's just not my brand of basketball. I'm just going to call a spade, it's getting there, and it was kind of cool to just see a draft process and see some of the girls' reactions to being drafted, and the hype that comes with that, and the old players on the team, congratulating them and welcoming them to the team, and like, hey, we got to get to work. All that kind of stuff, that motivates me, that gets me going. That's basketball. So I enjoyed watching that. So WNBA draft, cool. So the big question is, when will the NBA be returning? There's some talk that perhaps they are going to just go the regular season and go straight into the playoffs in the summer. Maybe have like a period of like 10 games leading up into the playoffs. Everybody kind of warmed up. But they would definitely have to have a training camp. These guys can't go from like having zero basketball, which like Pascal said he hasn't. DeMar said he hasn't. I mean, Serge has been active. He's definitely moving around. But I don't know if he's dribbled the basketball, to be honest, outside of in his house. Real game is different. So they're going to need some time to warm up and then go straight into maybe just a fraction of the season and then into the playoffs. Fine with me. I just want to see some basketball, man. And I think going into the playoffs like this, like having this much of a hiatus and all the teams they're going to be discombobulated and totally out of sync. I think that adds to the fun and the randomness. And to be honest, anyone could win the NBA championship if they do it like that, which is kind of fun. Maybe they even shorten it and have the first couple of rounds as a 5-round series. I don't care. I just want to see basketball. I just want to see this iteration of the Raptors try to win a championship, because who knows if Fred is coming back, if Mark is coming back, and it would be a real shame to kind of just have our last memory of Fred VanVleet in a Raptors uniform, as I don't even know what my last memory of Fred would be, so that would suck. So I'm hoping and praying. Russell Westbrook was on the Tonight Show last night, and he said, dude, I'm always ready. So he's ready to go. I'm sure that's the sentiment of 99% of the players in the NBA. So, and 99.9% of all the fans in the NBA. So let's get it going. Let's get this NBA started. Fingers crossed. We'll see you soon next time on Toronto Ball Talk.